Hey everyone, Aaron at Redbird Speed. We just shot a video on measuring wheel to wheel. So wheel mount surface to wheel mount surface, sticking the wheels and tires up under the vehicle and making the rear end more narrow, compensating for axle offset, rotor thickness, and all that. So a total wheel to wheel number. Next, the question is, how much can I narrow my rear end? So this is for a 64 C10, so you can see the trailing arm brackets here. So the really critical measurement as far as the rear end goes is how much distance do I have between the housing end, where the weld on the housing end goes, and the suspension bracketry. So this rear end, we took about 1.25 inches out per side already. Whenever it was made, we stuck the wheels and tires up under the truck and did this. We knew this wasn't going to be a problem. There's a ton of real estate here. But something to consider is whatever make, model, whatever leaf spring brackets, 2.5-inch flat perch, whatever lower control arm mount bracket, whatever you have to compensate and make sure that you have enough room. You have enough real estate from where the housing ends are going to get welded on and where your bracket starts. Another thing to consider is if you stick the wheels and tires up under the car, make sure the wheel isn't hitting the leaf spring or hitting any of the suspension. So that's another thing to consider, because there are some vehicles, like let's say a G-body for example, you only have about 1/4 inch between the housing end and where the lower control arm mount bracket starts. So there's not much room. Also, if you're running a wide wheel on a G-body for example, you're gonna have to start cutting the frame, you're gonna have to start modifying the wheel wells, you're gonna have to do a lot of work to make that happen. So when you're asking yourself, how much can I narrow this rear end, consider the wheel, the inside of the wheel, where it's going to end up, where it's going to sit in your wheel well. Look at your brackets on your suspension. Think about how far your housing ends can come in. There's some variables here to take into consideration. But on this C10, there's a lot of real estate. There's some cars you might be able to get 1 inch. There's some cars you get 2 inches. Some cars you can get up to 4 inches more narrow per side on the rear end before you have to modify the stock suspension. So something to keep into consideration. Every make model is different. But if you have any questions on this, give us a call. 260-301-2424. That's 260-301-2424. You can get us at redbirdspeed.com. Probably calling us is the best. It's going to be the easiest way to get a hold of us. So, hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe below to keep up with the complete rear end 12-bolt series. We're going to keep going with it. Let's talk about these axle shafts. Have a good day.